Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of NASCAR Heat 5. And coming up in today's video, Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of my absolute favorite tracks in real life simply because it is so racy. Grooves everywhere on the track. And in today's race, we're going to be running 81 laps, but those of you who are familiar with the NASCAR Heat Series know the AI are just not very good at Atlanta. They're simply slow. So what we're going to do is the same thing we did at Auto Club. Rather than using our own setup and running away with the race, trying to see how many people we can lap, all that kind of thing, we're going to use one of the default setups. My guess is it's going to be somewhere around that center line, the 4, 5, or 6 level that we were looking at Auto Club, but we're going to find out. But before we get there, let's take a look at the season standings. And the reason I'm doing this is because you're going to notice that we're going to start falling down in the standings as I continue to simulate more and more races throughout the season. That's okay. Our focus, and in fact something that actually makes it more fun for me, is we want to try to make the playoffs, but I'm going to make it as difficult as possible for myself in order to do that. We're looking for that elusive win, but I don't plan on making that easy. So at tracks like Auto Club in Atlanta, where we could normally get an easy victory and easily put ourselves at the top spot or very close to the top spot in the playoff standings, we're going to make it very difficult. So right now, we're in 5th position, 136 points, and you can see that is well out of first place, especially after what happened at Phoenix with that terrible race for us there in that simulated finish. So for today, it's all about Atlanta, and let's find out which default setup is the best. All right, folks, here we go. We'll be starting from the rear at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I skipped qualifying, ran I think 3 laps of practice with the setup right in the middle. So number 5 on the scale. So directly in the middle between loose and tight. And then I decided to go one more step over toward tight. So that means we're running setup number 4 if we measure starting from the far left of the scale, which would be tight. I have run no laps with this particular setup, but the setup right in the middle, number 5, it felt okay given what we know about the default setups and the feel that they're going to give you. But I decided to go one more to the tight side, just hoping that they would give me a little bit more wedge and remove some of that crazy feeling that I get from these cars using default setups. But I would imagine during today's race, as I give you guys updates on how the car is driving and what I'm feeling, I would imagine it's going to be very similar to what we talked about at Auto Club, since we're still using the default setups, and I would imagine it's going to be very, very similar. Also, the only other thing I learned during practice in those couple laps that I run was, hold on, we are going to be in the middle of 3 wide if I don't get out of this. All right, so let me get out of the gas here a little bit.
Hold your line, got one inside.
Try to give these guys a little bit of room. Oh, we are on 3 wide. That's what I get for lifting and trying to give somebody room. All right, never mind. We'll just take it through here.
Stay high up here. You're clear all around,
one thing I did learn was that, actually a couple of things. Number 1 is I could hold it wide open, at least for the couple of laps that I ran. So I could do that. The other thing I learned is that I was out there with Joey Logano. I actually came out right in front of him. He quickly passed us and was pulling away. So even though I was wide open, I didn't have any speed for him. And of course, we would expect Logano to be up around the top 5 to top 10 area. So based on that, I'm sort of estimating that we would be somewhere around 15th to 20th. And now our goal is to do better than that.
Still there?
Also, this is another thing I noticed is the engine sound. Oh, I do not like that engine sound from being wide open all the time. Just the way the high RPMs sound, it hurts my ears after a little while. So lifting might, if nothing else, just be a sanity move at this point. So I plan on lifting just a little bit going through the corners, trying to take it easy on these tires because I'm not sure exactly what we're going to have. I know we got 25 laps here in the first stage. Of course, we're only on 1S, so we don't have any large multiplier on for the tire wear and or fuel burning. So let's go ahead and bring up that tire window and let's just see what we've got.
Still there?
Specifically, the first thing I'm going to be looking for is the middle tire temperature and the difference between the right front and the right rear. Then, of course, I'll take a look at the other temperatures, but that's the first thing I want to see.
We've got 20.
And it looks like they're fairly close.
Careful, still there.
Meanwhile, we've moved up halfway through the field. We're in 22nd, about to be 21st position. We have passed a lot of cars in the first few laps. But you can see that front to rear, we're looking pretty good on tire temperatures. We'll see how that progresses over the course of a run. But so far, not too bad. And the reason I pay a lot of attention to this early on in a run is because generally the way the physics are designed in this game is the car is designed to get looser over the course of a run. So the right rear is going to wear more if the car turns at all. About the only way it's not going to happen that way is if you have the car so tight it just doesn't turn and you just burn through the right front pretty quick. Other than that, if your car is at all balanced, and especially if it's loose early on, then you're going to find yourself with a loose car toward the end. The question is, how loose can you drive it? That's really what it's going to come down to. How much of that right rear can you use and still be fast and have good control over the car later in the run?
Careful.
All right, but there you have an idea. Again, we're still pretty close. The tire wear is going to be a little bit more to the right rear, even here early on. But again, we're going to see how that progresses throughout the race. So we'll come back to that later on. As always, we're trying to figure out exactly when these guys pit here in the Cup Series at 25% race distance.
Stay low, stay low.
So far, it looks like everybody pits after stage 1, and then that's it.
You're clear there.
So we'll see if that continues to be the case here at Atlanta. All right, where are we? 18th position, lap number 10. So we've completed 9 laps. Yeah, I'm definitely not full throttle. But as I mentioned earlier, that's really for 2 reasons. Number one, even if I could go full throttle, I really don't want to hit the tires that hard right now until I learn more about how this car is going to handle several laps into a run. So right now, I'm perfectly happy to lift just a little bit on entry, maybe a little bit through the center. And when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit. Maybe 75% throttle is the most I'm coming out of it. So maybe lifting about 25% is about it. And most of the time, not even quite that much. So we're still heavy in the throttle, just not quite wide open. All right, coming up on the number 1 car. And I'm still, it's going to take me a while to get over the fact that I did not choose the 42.
Stay at the bottom.
Because in my head, there's just so much going on. In fact, if that route is still available in the future,
Right,
I might go that route in another season. But there was just no way I could give up the 48. Just no way. For sentimental reasons, there was just no way I could give up the 48 since I had an opportunity to get it. All right, but as we look on the screen, you can see everybody's really starting to spread out. That's by design. That's one of the settings that I'm using here in the career mode with the AI, because this is the way I prefer to race against them. Fewer crazy things happen with the AI behavior when that's the case. Speaking of the 42, he's just on our outside right now.
Careful, still there.
All right, and we are continuing to move up through this field up into the 15th position, now 14th.
Still there. The race is half over.
No, the race is not. The first stage is half over. But not the race for sure, because the race is what, 82 laps, something like that, 82, 83, something along those lines. But yeah, the race itself is not half over after 14 laps. All right, so we're up into 14th position. This is about as far as I thought we would get based on Joey Logano's couple of laps that I ran with him in practice. All right, the 20. Let's see, where are you going to go? You going to let us get the inside on the straightaway?
Careful,
yes, you
still
are.
there.
So see, the AI can be quite cordial when you catch them one or two at a
All
time.
right, you're clear there.
You catch them 4 or 5 at a time, things change. They get wild.
10 laps to go.
All right, let's do this thing. 10 laps to go. We are into 13th position, lucky number 13. But I must say, I am enjoying using the default setups. I'm enjoying using some other type of setup. It gives me something else to feel because I know the feel that I'm looking for and I know how to create that in the game. But it's always fun to try something different. Try a car that you're not sure exactly how it's going to feel, how it's going to react, short run versus long run, how are the tires going to wear, and so on. But right now what I'm feeling is very similar to what we had at Auto Club. Maybe not quite as bad on the wedge number. The car feels more stable than it did at Auto Club, but I'm still feeling that that the car wants to over-rotate while not turning, which, again, like we talked about at Auto Club, is a very odd feeling to have in a car, where the rear end wants to slide around on you and be a little bit more unstable than you would prefer, but the car's not rotating and turning and maintaining speed through the corner. It's just simply sliding around. So I'm feeling some of that. Not as bad, though, as Auto Club, I will say. And we're using the identical, as far as numbers go on the setup, we're using the same number as Auto Club. So from that perspective, we would expect them to be very similar. But I definitely prefer this one to what we were feeling at Auto Club, all things considered. But the car's still handling perfectly fine. Again, you can hear me lifting. Just as I mentioned earlier, I'm continuing to do that, but still not having to lift a whole lot. And we're also continuing to rein in some of these guys in front of us, so that part is still looking good. So it looks like Logano, if anything, was showing us a very fast pace, because Truex immediately in front of us, we've been running him down. And the same thing with, I can't tell who that is in front of him just yet. Looks like it might be the 10 car, but I can't tell.
5 to go, this time by.
I lose track of, I mean, we've started in the rear and we're up to 13th. We passed a lot of cars. We might have already passed the 10, and I just don't remember.
Car high, careful.
I can see a few cars up there having
Stay low.
some very intense battles.
You're all clear up top.
All right, so we are able to clear the 19. That gets us up into 12th position. So now our goal is the top 10. My initial goal was somewhere around 15th. I thought we'd be doing pretty good if we could get to 15th. Now, I'm thinking that top 10 is certainly possible. Now, we'll have to see, as we're getting into lap traffic now, we'll have to see how many of these cars I'm seeing in front of us that we're running down. How many of those are lap cars at this point? Actually, no, that's not going to be the 10 in front of us. That's going to be our teammate in the 88. So maybe we have already passed the 10, and I simply don't remember it. Yeah, that's that 88 car.
Car outside, all clear.
I'm sure he would greatly appreciate that I mistook him for the 10 car.
2 at the line.
All right, only 2 laps left in the first stage. I would love to say we can get some stage points, and there is a mess in front of us. What I don't know is, can we do anything about it? These guys are 2 and 3 wide. All right, we got 11th. Is the 17? Oh, no, it's the 9, I bet. Oh, wait, how did we get to the 10th? Who did we just pass? I thought we'd already passed all those cars. So somehow,
We got 1 to go.
here on the final lap, we're in the 10th position. All right, 17. I would traditionally at this point think he's a lap car, because I wouldn't expect to see him up. Ooh, look out. These guys are slowing down big time.
Still there. You got room. You're clear.
All right, so the lap traffic
got one up top. You got room. You're clear.
causing all sorts of fit. That's another reason why I like the AI to spread out, so that you don't have as much of that. So how about that? In the final few laps, we gained several positions to come home in 8th place. So we'll take it. 3 points when we expected to get absolutely none. So do we pit? Well, if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, yes, we will be pitting. So I'm just going to leave everything the same. Honestly, I'm going to try. Let's increase this right rear tire. That might get us in trouble, but we're going to have some fun with this thing. I think I know we can certainly get by with using the right rear more than what we have to this point. But
has the green flag in his hand.
The question is, did I get it too loose with that sort of that feel of over-rotation while not actually turning? I guess we're about to find out. So we loosened the car up a little bit. Now we've got 2 full stages to work our way through this, and I'm guessing, without knowing the exact number of laps,
Careful, still there.
I'm going to guess we've got like 60 laps or so to run here. Something like 60 laps remaining. Oh, look out. Turn, turn,
Still
turn.
there.
All right, so we've worked our way up to 4th here on the restart. The question is, can we hold on to this? Do we have the speed? So I'm trying to stay in the gas as hard as I can. All right, you can see the 2 is just motoring up through here. He came up on me quick.
Stay low.
Again, not quite wide open. I might be able to get by with it, but again, I don't think it's worth it long term.
That was a better lap.
I'm more concerned with being able to hold my line and thinking about the full 60-lap run. All right, so yeah, these guys are just way faster than me. So we're going to run our own race and see what we've got. I certainly don't think we have top 5 speed. I see some hungry guys coming up behind us. So let's see what we've got. Like I said, I don't think we've got top 5 speed. I didn't think we had top 8 speed at the very end of the first stage, but I do think at this point around 8th to 10th maybe is reasonable.
Car high, careful.
All right, so right now I kind of feel like I'm at Daytona because it's 2x2 behind us, and these guys on the outside are coming strong. In fact, you can see our teammate, the 24 on the outside, and yeah, I can't get the car to rotate like I need to with them pinning me down like this. So the best case scenario for us would be to be on the outside, but I'm just not sure we have the speed up there either.
Careful.
But these guys, yeah, you can see, I mean, they're just coming by me. I can't.
Clear low, clear low.
I can't do anything with that. I tried moving up the track a little bit to see if that would help. Also, we'll see how things go over the longer run. We'll see how their tires fall off versus how our tires fall off. So another reason to be kind to your tires early in a run. But overall, so far, the extra tire pressure in the right rear, which was not going to be a major change, so far, I'm not feeling any ill effects from it. The car feels pretty good right now. As far as the handling goes, I don't really have any complaints about that. Of course, we're just slow more than anything. But other than that, I mean, the car feels nice and secure to drive. I'm not fighting the wheel. All Alright, these guys in front of us are having a nice battle. And here we are in 7th, and as these guys immediately behind us battle it out, we've got a nice little pocket for ourselves to ride in. Try to learn about our car, see what we've got, take care of the tires a little bit while we're not forced to run a groove that we don't want to run and be harder on the tires. That's particularly true around the bottom. When we were pinned to the bottom with the car on our outside, it really messed up our entry because we couldn't get the angle we wanted starting from the outside wall like we're going to be able to do here. We can let the car drift from the outside wall, simply get out of the gas a little bit, bring it to the bottom, and then let the car drift back out to the outside wall on exit. Well, we couldn't do that when we had a car to our outside, so it's harder on the tires. We're requiring more from the tires unless we just simply back out of it and go slower to try to save your tire. So it's all a trade-off. Anytime you're thinking about tire wear and tire fall off, don't just think of it in the perfect conditions when you're alone on the track, able to run the perfect groove each and every lap. Think of it in real race terms. What are you going to do if you're right on the edge and you're stuck on the outside or stuck on the inside racing with somebody? Can your car handle that? Do you know how to approach the car? Do you know how to drive the car in that situation? Where do you need to lift? Do you need to drag the brake maybe a little bit? Now, dragging the brake would be effective here right now. I'm simply choosing to lift. But dragging the brake could certainly help, and that would enable me to continue to run wide open. All right, so something funny has happened. If you'll notice, we're not gaining on the guys in front of us. They might be pulling us just a little bit overall on speed, but the guys behind us have sort of stabilized as well. Obviously, the 22 car is coming for us, but it's not like these guys behind us are just blowing by us. I feel like we found this nice little pocket here, and while we're probably not going to finish Stage 2 in 7th position, I feel like we're probably going to drop another spot or two. We're not in a bad spot right now.
All right, 10 to go. Keep it nice and smooth for us.
All right, let's go back to the tires a little bit in a second. Let's take our first look. And so we've got, what, 7 or 8 temperature difference, depending on where you take a look at it. Maybe a little less than that, maybe a little bit more than that, depending on where you see it. That's not terrible. A little love tap for the 22 there. So he finally run us down, but again, looking in the rearview mirror, there's not a whole lot going on back there. These guys are not breathing down our throat for these positions. In fact, if we can draft along with Logano, we should be able to pull even farther away. You can see we can pull Logano on the straightaway just simply by virtue of that draft.
Careful, still there. Car outside, hold your line.
You can see that as long as he stays on the high side,
Careful,
we can definitely run right here with him. Don't think we're going to be able to get by him. In fact, I'm not even really concerned with getting by him. I'd rather draft with him and pull us both forward. So my preference right now, oddly enough, would be for him to go straight to the bottom, or at least the middle like he's doing now, so that we can draft easily on the straightaway. Okay, you also notice the tire wear is even front to rear right now on the right side. Again, it doesn't mean I don't look at the left side. It's just that right now the right side is the most important. That's where all of the load is in the corners. So that's the side I want to make sure. Ooh, hello. We gained a lot of ground on him right there. He was way out of the gas. We had to take some evasive maneuvers. I wasn't expecting to catch him like that in the middle of the corner. So 9th and 10th behind us as we're now, it looks like, coming up on some traffic.
5 to go.
Some lap
5 to go.
traffic. Yeah, those guys are certainly not catching us very quickly. Logano's struggling a little bit to get by the 36.
Still there. Got a car high now. You're all clear up top.
All right, let's see. Who else is in front of us? I see the 62 immediately in front of the 22. He's going to go high, so we need to get to the bottom. The 11 is stuck behind the 16 right now. So this is an opportunity to pick up a spot here.
Got one peeking outside. You're all clear up top. All right, you're clear there.
All right, so now the 11 is going to be hungry. He's going to want this spot back, or both of these spots back that he lost. Oh yeah, we're.
Hold your line.
Yeah, this
got
is
one outside.
definitely some intense traffic right now. This is no good. This is not how you want to gain spots. I mean, they all count.
You got room. You're clear there.
But this is not the AI behavior that I'm interested in using to make passes. So now we're up to 4th. All right, so let's get rid of that.
White flag. Next time by.
All right, white flag next time by.
Inside,
24,
inside.
good run on me there. So we're going to try to preserve as much as we can. All right, so how much fuel? 34 laps of fuel. Okay, is that going to be enough to get us to the end? Are we going to have to pit again? I don't know that answer, but we're about to find out. Because we got one more lap.
Got a car
in
high now.
stage 2.
You got one to go. You got room. You're clear there.
More lap traffic ahead.
Careful. Still there. You're clear all around there.
I see more lap traffic, but I don't think, yeah, the 24 is going to get past the 77 easily without any issues. So it looks like 5th place is how we're going to finish stage number 2. Once again,
That'll earn
a
you
much
a
better
few
finish
stage points.
in the last few laps than I would have guessed. So who came home with that victory? Are we going to find out? Can I scroll any at all? Yes, I can. Kevin Harvick. Wow, what a shocker there. All right, so yes. Well, wait a minute. We're going to pit. I mean, we don't have to, looks like, but we're going to. Let's see. Do we want to make any changes? Not really. I think we sort of got what we got right now. So let's go ahead and pit and advance. So we are now in 4th position. That's going to put us on the
Coming to the
outside
green,
lane
driver.
because there is no
Almost ready now.
choice here
Hold
in
your
the
line.
game.
Got one inside.
Although that could be a very fun mechanic to add into the game, whether you want to start on the inside or outside lane.
Inside. All
It'd be
right,
kind of hard
you're
to
clear.
implement with the way this game
Car
is
there on the
designed,
inside.
though, without some big changes.
Got one down
Oh,
low now.
hello, 24. Just really working his way up through there.
Car there
And
on
I
the
swear
inside.
to you, just then, I tried to
Hold your line.
hit
Got
the
one
next
inside.
gear. With the way this engine sounds, it sounded like we were still in 3rd and I need to hit 4th. So yeah, this engine noise is really messing me up.
Got one peeking inside.
All right,
Got
these
a car
guys are
coming
pretty
inside now.
wild right now. So
Got a car coming inside now.
with me stuck on the high side for now, oh, I swear we're gonna tear this engine apart
high,
with the
stay
way
high.
it sounds. All right, long way to go. All right, are we clear on the bottom? I think so. With all this drafting going on, with this many cars, with new tires and all this, this engine is singing right now. And it is not singing a note I'm interested in hearing. All right, so now we've gotten back to the bottom, drifted back into the 9th position.
Still there.
But now that we've gotten back to
Excellent lap
bottom,
there.
let's see
Good
what
job.
we can do here. I think we got maybe a few more spots in us.
Still there?
Good to see the 17 running this far up front, by the way. That's always nice. Been a while since we've had any good news for Roush, really.
Stay on the bottom.
I don't know. 17's hanging right in there with us on the outside lane, and I was about as fast as I could go through that set of corners, given the angles and everything. It was about as fast as I could do it in this car, and he hung right in there with us and eventually passed us. Yeah, these guys at the front are fast right now. Again, everything is relative. But compared to the setup and speed we have right now, these guys are fast on new tires. We seem to be able to work with them over a longer run anyway, not a long run. This stage 3 will easily, by any measure, be the longest run we're going to have in the race, just as you would imagine it would be. But our engine is singing.
You're all clear on the bottom there.
In fact, I think we've hit the rev limiter a few times. At least it feels that way. But again, right now, car's handling just fine. As far as being loose or tight or balanced, it's fairly well balanced.
We've got 20 more laps.
I don't have that weird feeling that I had at Auto Club, which is a wonderful thing, because that is not a fun feel for me to drive with. So the differences could be that it's actually the same setup, or very close.
Inside.
Ooh, look out, 12 cars coming through.
Got a car coming inside now.
Could be the same or a similar setup, and it could just simply be that the difference in the track, the banking, and all of that kind of thing is what's giving me a very different feel out of the car. That's entirely possible.
Careful, still there. Stay low, stay low.
So right now, it definitely looks like these guys have made some adjustments to their cars and gotten a lot stronger, because we're still running basically what we've been running, but these guys have gotten better. And I really enjoy seeing that.
Stay on the bottom.
Yep, can't do anything with the 12 right now. So now our hope is that with 17 laps remaining, as the tires continue to fall off, our hope is that we don't fall off as much as these guys, and that's how we get some spots back. But the good news is, looking in our rearview mirror,
still there.
We're in good shape there. There's nobody putting any pressure on us from behind. Of course, we keep racing hard like this, that's going to slow us down, and eventually we will have some company from behind.
Careful, still there.
Yeah, right there in the middle of 1 and 2. The AI are just off the pace. They have to get out of the throttle just a little bit.
Careful, still there.
And that's enough to bring me right to their rear bumper.
Hold your line, got one outside.
Yeah, that's going to give him the momentum. I had to lift a little bit extra there in the center to try
car on the outside now
and keep the car from drifting up the track, because I was not getting the front grip I needed.
Careful, still there.
Oh, I thought we were going to actually clear him right there.
down the bottom here.
All right, come
Top
on,
three,
get by
use it
him.
if you need it.
Get by him. I know he said clear, but I didn't believe it. All right, now we're clear. I didn't believe him because in my mirror, he didn't really look like I was clear of him. Oh, lost the nose right there.
Inside, inside. You got room. You're clear.
All right, so 3 and 4 is a much easier corner than 1 and 2 for me right now.
Inside. All clear.
You can just hear the motor bog down more in 1 and 2 than over in 3 and 4. As much as you can bog down the motor when it's running this many RPMs. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can put a move on the 17 here. Oh, that is not good. Can't hold the bottom.
Stay on the bottom.
All right, so we're going to have to back up and take another run at that. Got really tight on the bottom there. Tried to stay in the gas too much. And simply lost the nose.
Still there.
All right, we're getting down to
Keep
it now.
digging. 10 to go.
10 laps remaining, and I am once again having a lot of fun. It's been a while since I was able to say that at Atlanta, given the situation of the AI.
Careful.
But
Still
this is fun. Racing side by side and some 3 wide, as much as you can get by with against
Still
the
there.
AI until crazy stuff happens.
Clear all around. Got a car high now.
All right, we are closing in
Careful.
quickly
Still there.
on some folks in front of us, and I have a feeling that is because of lap traffic. I see a couple
Still
of lap
there.
cars.
You got room. You're clear. Got one outside now. All clear.
All right, here we go. Please stay up high. Please stay up high. Please stay up high. And they came right down to the bottom. They
All
came
right,
right
clear
down to the
outside.
bottom. Ah, come on.
Car on the
Down.
outside now.
It's one of those
All
times
clear.
where you're screaming at the spotter to tell those cars where to go, and they usually don't even listen, unless you're the leader. Luckily, we didn't lose anything in that exchange. Got another lap car just ahead. Then I see the 18 up there as well. He is high, wide, and handsome. He's running that Harry
Car
Gant line.
outside. You got room. You're clear there.
As much as I would love to run that groove, with this setup, I feel like I would probably end up putting it in the fence pretty quick. All right, another lap car immediately in front. Then I see the 18, not sure about in front of that. It kind of looks like Logano up there.
Clear all around.
But I can't tell for sure who those cars are. But I do know that they're side by side and all bunched together, so that's good news for us because the AI don't do well in that situation. The 18, you can see he's coming right back to us, trying to get around that lap car.
5 laps
Oh yeah,
to go.
this is a mess up here in front of us. There's probably, I mean, if we got through all these cars, we might even be in third if we were able to pass all this bunch.
You're all clear up top. You're all clear
Yep,
up
that is
top there.
Logano up there, and he is struggling to get by. I believe that's the 77. Now he and the 18 are going to battle it out a little bit. All right, so we made up some ground, but I really thought we were going to be in position to make up a couple of
Clear high,
spots
bud.
there for position. Oh, we got a wreck. We got a wreck. We got a wreck. So the 24. Now, we do have cautions are off. I turned cautions off entirely because this is all about green flag runs. This isn't about having a bunch of cautions when the AI decide to run over each other or me. So the 24, sorry about your luck. But thankfully, it's not too often we have to worry about it. But this is all about racing and not riding around under caution. I've done plenty of that in online racing, and so I try to avoid it whenever possible. You got what you got. And we are down to the final few laps. Once again, we got some lap traffic up here, and the 18 and 22 are trying to figure it out. 18 has decided that the way for him to get through here is just simply put it up against the wall and roll with it. The 22 wants the bottom and has finally gotten it. Unfortunately, I needed these guys to hold him up just a little bit longer.
Stay low, stay low.
So we can get
You got
here.
room. You're
3
clear.
car is going to go right down to the bottom. Yep, he went right down there in front of me, so that was not a good corner for
Careful,
us.
still there. You got 1 to go.
All right, this is it. White flag lap. Once again, I see the 18 is hung behind a lap car that he is pushing through the corner. All right, just hold him up some more. We're coming. I don't know if we got enough time to get there, but we're coming. Oh, we're not going to quite have enough time.
Top 10. Nice
Not
job.
bad. 7th position. I will take that. Like, that was a lot of fun. Now, the speed rating is, for the most point, it is pointless. But 7th position. Let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Race results. Who got the victory? Kevin Harvick. Again, no surprise there. Kevin Harvick winning at Atlanta, or Kevin Harvick dominating at Atlanta. Ryan Newman with a great finish. Brad Kay, Denny Hamlin, we saw those guys blow by us earlier in the race. And then, of course, Kyle Busch and Logano, we saw the battle they were in at the very end of the race. But if we'd had another couple of laps, we were going to be in the middle of that battle. But overall, I am extremely happy with this race. That was tons of fun. So this basically just cements for me that I want to use the default setups more going forward because it puts me in different spots in the race and on the track. What we've seen at Auto Club and now at Atlanta is it puts us inside the top 10, somewhere between 5th and 10th. We're not contending for victories, but we're having great runs and a lot of fun with some very competitive racing with the AI. Also, at other times, I'm sure at some of these tracks, we're going to use the default setup and we're going to be running 15th or 20th. I'm okay with that too. You can really have fun racing anywhere in the pack as long as you're racing with cars that are giving you room, you're giving them room, and you can battle. That's really, at the end of the day, what I want from this game. It's not just about victories and so on. But another top 10, another successful day at the track. So as we move forward and finish up today's video, this is exactly what I want this series to be on the channel. Fun racing and toward the front of the pack. So now point standings, you can see a great run here did wonders for us. We're back up into 3rd position, still a good ways off the top 2 based on points, but we're ahead of Kevin Harvick in points, and he's got 2 victories and a lot of playoff points. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our career mode gameplay of NASCAR Heat 5.